Hey everybody, it's ASIC Eric again, and we are going to try and wrap this dog up today. Last time we got this drop-off panel patch here all sorted out and cut and ready to go, and put in epoxy primer. We primed this area back here. So what I'm going to do first now is get that piece fit in here, make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. Then I'm gonna go in the places on the epoxy where I'm gonna be putting welds and grind off the epoxy and put some spot weld primer on there instead. I'm still pondering what to do on this guy here, on that patch piece here. So here's the patch piece that I made, and the idea here is that this goes on the back of the panel like that. This piece is going to be spot welded to the tail panel. And then the idea was, sorry, everything's black, it's hard to see, but this part right here was going to get welded onto the drop-off panel right here to hold this together. Remember, it looked more like this. This was all quarter panel pieces here that was holding it together before. And that the quarter panel patch doesn't have that, so this is the piece that I made in place of it. So I think this will work, but what I'm wondering is if I should just weld all this together now, and don't bother waiting for the quarter panel. I think this back corner is kind of where it needs to be anyway, but once we lay it in the car, I think we'll have a better sense of that. But what I do think I want to do here is figure out exactly where this piece needs to go, get the two spot welds here done, or plug welds, and then that's going to blow up the epoxy on the back of this, and then mix up some epoxy and just brush it on here on the back of this before I put it in there, because this piece here goes in the car like that ish, kind of something like that. And so once I put this in there, then again I'm not going to be able to get behind there and do anything with it, so that metal's going to be bare. So I think I want to do that first, is figure out exactly where this piece needs to fit relative to the tail panel, drop-off panel, and then get it welded, and then I can brush some epoxy on the back and then have that all set. So I'll probably do that first. And just a reminder, last time, this black epoxy is cool. I mean, this thing looks like it's in the original EDP coating, but that's epoxy on there. It looks awesome. It's pretty cool. Pretty happy with that, how well that came out. Look at that finish, really nice. Tasty. All right, anyway, let me get this thing fit in there and then take it from there. All right, so that's approximately correct right there. You may be able to see that little, yeah, there you go. There's that little panel there. You can't really see it from the back here, that gap. I pried this thing out in order to get access to this, so that's supposed to be kind of right about there when all is said and done. One of the things I notice here, sorry for that glare, let me turn that off. One of the things I notice here is that that line is not the same here. This is sticking out a little further there. I actually bent this thing quite a bit this way, based on this measurement that I had taken right here. I'm going to check it again. It's probably still too far out, so I may need to squeeze it in a little bit more, and then hopefully that pulls this line in a little bit better as well. And look at the other side of the car here. As you can see on this side of the car, those two lines are pretty parallel. This is the quarter panel here, but you can see the drop-off panel right there. I'm pretty sure that follows about the same line, so I think I need to get that sorted out. All right, after a little bit of massaging, that looks pretty good there. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what this line is supposed to look like right here. I think that's correct, but the measurement that I took, all right, so this was 10.5 from that corner to to the outside edge there. That's pretty close now. The angle on the outside there looks like it's about right. I think this is correct. So I'm going to go ahead and mark where everything is here and then get ready to weld it in. Alright, so just to give you an idea of how much epoxy I stripped off, I don't know if that's going to be enough or not. We'll find out when we do the weld how much they spatter and smoke and everything else. There's a little patch there. And car here. I masked everything off, so we're just going across here and that little spot right there. So go ahead and get that in spot weld, weld through primer. Well, that was certainly not the most beautiful welding I've ever done, but I think it'll work. And here's the couple of spots where you got the penetration, so I'm going to mix up a tiny little bit of epoxy and cover that up. I knew I should have stopped trying to get that damn thing to bridge. Giant hole blew in it. Oh well. Back to the drawing board. I pretty much butchered up these plug welds up in here. That was a lot harder to do than I expected it to be. The problem I was having is I was trying to put the weld in. It would just drip down, and then I'd be left with this giant hole, and sometimes it would take a big piece of the metal along with it. I started getting better toward the back, but then way in the back it's just really hard to get in there. So anyway, we're about done with this part. As you saw when I tried to do this, this is what happened when I did this patch over here. It's just, I don't know what it is. Trying to weld upside down, what, I don't know, but you touch it, kaboom, it blows up. So it's just so hard to weld. But let's keep working at it. All right, she's in. That did not go anywhere close to according to plan. Lots of mistakes on this, but I think it's still okay. That was a bear to do all those welds up in there. I think I ultimately got them okay. Big hole in the back there I think I still have to plug. Just exploded when I was trying to work on it back there. But the major malfunction that I made was I tacked in a couple of places here that I think you saw in the video, and then I just went down the line and did that, and that was a mistake because this thing shifted in the back here as I was welding and I didn't realize it. So that was a big boo-boo. So that's off quite a bit, like half an inch off down there. I think the panel mostly ended up correct except for that. So this line looks pretty good here. I think that line looks pretty correct right there. I just laid the quarter panel in there and it seems like it's approximately correct. So if it's off, it's not off a lot. It might be in this back corner here, but the quarter panel is kind of DIY back here anyway. The quarter panel only really comes down to here, I think, and then you got to create something to go back here. So there's going to be a lot of work to be done back there anyway. These welds in here came out okay. That one over there needs some more work. It's really hard to weld in these tiny little corners everywhere, but got it mostly done. This came out not too terrible. So it's in, doesn't want to go anywhere, which is nice. So that's almost done. I just gotta finish dressing the welds everywhere and get the fiberglass on it. Then it's done. Ooh. Boy, that was a lot of work. I was out here for, I don't know, maybe pushing 8 hours today to wrap this thing up. I didn't weld on that little piece in the corner there. I just left it since I didn't have to weld it right now. It's all prepped with weld-through primer and everything, so when the time comes I can put it in. But I think it'll all work. So that was a nightmare, but at least it's done. I have one question for you guys on the quarter panel. I bought this thing like 1.5 years ago thinking I was going to get to it soon, and I didn't. It's just been sitting in a corner. But somewhere along the way, as you can see, got a big dent in it, or it came that way, I don't know. And it's all tweaked right here. It may have been that way all along and I just never noticed till I started looking at it, or I bent it moving it someday, I don't know. But what do you guys think? Is this minor enough that I just go ahead and try and straighten this out, or if I'm putting a new panel on, should I just get a straight panel? That seems like a waste, but I also don't want to put a crooked panel on the car either. I'm just creating more work for myself. But let me know what you guys think. I don't mind spending the money on a new panel. This panel's not a very good panel anyway, I don't think. I don't even know who makes this panel, but it's not a very good panel. But that's it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.